Alexa to open 94.5 ESPN. 94.5 ESPN on Alexa is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle, Brust, and Nordman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We've been talking about the defense a lot today. That comes down to the defense. Now, when it matters the most, can you get that stop to give Jordan Love and your offense an opportunity to get in a field goal range and steal a victory? They didn't.
Defensively, I mean, you got to get pressure on these guys if they're going to drop back that many times, and if you don't, it's going to be a long day.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
They're a good team. You know who doesn't win the Super Bowl?
Good teams.
Good teams. You got to be great.
I think there absolutely is a belief that we can win one of these games. We got to go do it. Bottom line, and we got to earn the right to play these guys again.
I said that this team would be there next year. I can't say that.
You know, we're going to have to find ways when the playoffs start to go in those road atmospheres and win those tough games. But it's only going to get tougher for us. So we know that. You know, we got to find ways to keep improving, keep getting better.
But I have concerns. I'm already moving to next year. I'm sorry.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Offices One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chmura. Here's Jen Latta.
I don't know why, but one of my favorite things that Chewy does is when he gets all, he's a little hot under the collar, he's giving a good take. Like we just turned in the open. I'm already moving to next year. I'm sorry. And he apologizes for the take that he gives, even though we all know, you aren't actually sorry. Am I right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I just thought about it. Right? I just thought about it, Gabe.
Okay.
They're 0-5. You're 0-5, right? Correct?
Against the three teams that are better than you in the NFC, correct?
You're 0-5.
Yes.
And now you want me to believe or tell you that they're going to go 4-0? Is that what you want?
No.
Because I can say it. I'm not going to believe it. I mean, I could say it very willy-nilly.
You
think they're going to go 4-0?
No. I mean, they're 2-5 against teams that are in the playoff field in AFC, NFC in 2024. Like, they're 2-5 in those games. Jordan Love is completing about 60% of his passes, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in those games. Guess that this is not good enough. Like, when you've taken a step up in competition, you just have not been good enough.
Gabe, after I said that yesterday, let me ask you this question. And Ashton, you can chime in, but no one really cares what you say.
True. Hi, Ashton. Didn't see you there.
Do you think Goody's moved on to next year?
I think he's – in his job, he's kind of – there's only so much the general manager can do on December 31st.
Correct.
I'm sure he's already moved on to the draft. Like, they're probably already, pouring over college film and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
Do I think that the front office believes the Packers are going to win 4 in a row and win a Super Bowl and everything's going to be grand? No, I do not believe that the front office believes that.
So do you think he's sitting there with his team of scouts, with his team of player personnel, all those guys sitting there going, what do we do at defensive end next year? What do we do at receiver next year?
So let me ask you this question, because I was asked this yesterday. I joined the Damn Sports Show, each and every Monday on 1430 WBEV, ESPN Beaver Dam. And they asked me, if I were Goody, what would my offseason priority list be? What's your priority? Like, when you're talking about this team and the positions we know that are weak, what would be 1, what would be 2, what would be 3?
I think 1, you have to start with the D-line. But now there's another problem that's arisen that I don't know if they anticipated or what, but you listen to Rob and you're probably going to hear from Jason in the next segment, and they both say, I don't know if Jason has, that Jaire's not going to be here next year. That's a big void, Gabe.
Well,
am I right? That's a big void.
100%. Because here's the problem. Here's the problem with that position in particular, Jew. Like, I thought we got it, by the way. Eric Stokes almost had that pass defended this last week. It was a high throw. He jumped up for it. Apparently he didn't get a fingertip on it, so the streak continues for Eric Stokes. But however you feel about Eric Stokes, he's playing. Like, he's out there playing. Mm-hmm. Jaire Alexander was a part of your plans. Like, both of those guys, I believe, will not be here next year. Like, that's a huge hole at that position. Like, you're missing your preferred starter in Jaire and then a rotational guy in Eric Stokes, leaving you with Valentine. It was nice that he had the interception on Sunday. Keyshawn Nixon. And those guys are fine. Like, they're NFL players. It's not like they should be cut today. But if those two are your starting corners going into next year, I don't feel great about that position.
Well, coupled with the fact if they're going to do what the Bucs did and roll it back on the defensive line, it's just like...
Well, So I answered that question. I was with you. I was defensive line cornerback. Although, if we're talking first round, like whatever position is best available between those two, right? Like if there's a really good corner available to you whenever you're drafting in the first round and the defensive line, I haven't done my deep dive into the draft yet. Like I have not moved on to the draft. I am not at that point yet. I will eventually get there. I am not at that point yet. But you know what I'm saying, Chew? Like, to me, corner and defensive line go hand in hand, and it's just as big of an issue. They're both huge issues, which brings me to the wide receiver position, which I don't believe is good enough. I don't know if there's an actual number one in this group. Maybe somebody develops. They haven't really this year. Maybe somebody develops this offseason. I'm not sure. I don't think the wide receiver group is good enough. However, you do have 4 guys there that you like. They're good. Like, they're 2s or 3s, maybe, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, because defensive line and corner is such a big issue, I don't know if that number one wide receiver thing that I look at as a problem even gets addressed this offseason because you have so many bigger issues elsewhere, and at least you have the bodies at wide receiver.
And let's not confuse the people out there because, Gabe, we got a little yesterday. You know, there's people out there saying, oh, then why even play against Philadelphia? Why don't you just forfeit? We're not saying that. We're saying they can beat Philly.
Yep.
They can beat Minnesota.
Yep.
They can beat Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't do the 3 in a row.
Yeah. The inconsistencies are too much.
We're being proactive about this thing and start building a plan for the next year because, I mean, did you think that, Gabe, at the beginning of training camp, gushing over the D-line, did you think the D-line would be that bad this year?
No. I had high hopes.
The way they were talking about Rashawn Gary, I'm like...
He was Pro Bowl for sure, if not All-Pro. Maybe Defensive Player of the Year.
This is a 13-sack season. I mean,
he's got half that right now.
I don't... What does Van Ness have? What does Van Ness have? 3 sacks?
Yeah, so...
we looked it up yesterday.
So I looked this up yesterday. We moved on, so I didn't get to bring it up. Yes, Lucas Van Ness has 3 sacks. You know who also has 3 sacks?
Brenton Cox.
Keyshawn Nixon.
Oh.
Okay. You know what's funny about the defensive line, Chew? Like, you talk about the gushing, and I remember all training camp it was the gush fest that you and Jen and Gabe were all talking about the gush fest that was.
Well, because Rashawn Gary was unstoppable for the first 2 weeks of training camp.
Everyone was thinking,
we drank the Kool-Aid.
It can't get worse than it was last year with these guys underperforming, and all it did was continue to get worse in the poop Kool-Aid.
We can't help ourselves with the damn Kool-Aid, can we, Chewy? We can't help it.
Two things I already have on my list. For the new year.
Wait, you have a list?
Oh, wait, it needs music if you got a list. Hold on.
These are NFL resolutions. Okay? NFL resolutions.
Okay. All right, I'm in. Chewy's NFL resolutions.
I am not listening to one damn word, analyst, ESPN, whatever it is, tell me that the Chicago Bears are going to be good.
Okay, I like it. Okay.
Not one word. I ripped the rear view mirror out of my car and the side mirrors. They ain't even in
no mirrors.
Things, okay?
We're out on mirrors in 2025.
And the other thing, I am not listening to one word about this defensive line in training camp and how good they are.
All right.
I'm out. I am out.
Unless
because we drank the Kool-Aid, well, probably more than me when it comes to the Bears, drank the Kool-Aid about those 2 things.
Yeah.
And they both blew up in our face.
Yeah. I thought the Bears were going to be a lot better. Yeah. I'll own that.
Yeah. That's all I got right now, my 2 resolutions. There'll be more.
Okay.
Those are 2 good ones. It's a hot start.
Be more.
800-990-3776. I want to know what your NFL resolutions are going to be that we can add to this list. Chewy has his NFL resolutions out there. Number one, he is not going to listen to anyone tell him how good the Chicago Bears are going to be. And number two, he is not going to listen to anyone or buy into the hype when the defensive line is performing well at training camp.
Yeah, I'm out. Do you think they're gonna roll it back, or they'll actually do anything? And I don't mean like a Zadarius Smith cast-off who's 33 years old and he's going to be starting, or a Preston Smith.
You want another Xavier McKinney, but for the line. That's what you want.
Yes. Do they have money? They have money?
They'll have a little bit. I mean, not as much. I don't think they'll be able to go out and spend the way they did last year with McKinney and Josh Jacobs. Because here's the thing: like Jacobs is probably going to start making more money, so you're going to have to figure that out. Yeah, there's some things they're going to have to work around in order to free up some cash, probably.
So maybe one
guy, yeah, maybe one guy to help out the defensive line or the defensive backfield.
And then my other question is, if they do move on from Jaire, what do they get for him?
Oh, I don't think you can trade him.
No, that's a straight up cut, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's a cut.
What?
What leverage do they have to say, can we at least have a seventh?
I know, I get it, but he still has value. I mean, he's still he wants to play.
But teams aren't going to want to give up anything for him.
Really?
Well, I mean, he's played like half the games since 2020.
No, I know that. I am aware.
And that's the reason why nobody's going to go, yeah, here's a second-round pick. You know, nobody's going to step up and do that.
But they are a better team when he's on the field. And sometimes, you know, the PIA in him, you got to balance the two between his talent and how big of a pain in the ass he is. Is it too far gone now?
So that's the thing. I want to be careful here, and I want to say this to Jason as well, because I feel like David Bakhtiari ended up getting a bad rap at the end of the day because he couldn't play. Like, the knee was actually bad enough that he couldn't play, but everybody speculated because of how LaFleur, I mean, I'm guessing LaFleur wishes he would have handled things a little bit differently and been a little bit more forthcoming, because the way he kind of avoided some of the questions with Bakhtiari and then eventually came forward and everybody learned how bad the knee was. But I feel like Bakhtiari, because he was buddies with Rodgers and that divorce was still pretty fresh, that everybody thought, oh, this guy just doesn't want to play, right? And I feel like he got a bad rap when the dude just couldn't play. Like, he just could not physically get out there and play, and I feel like Bakhtiari got a bad rap. So I want to tread more cautiously this time. It looks like Jaire, to me, it looks like Jaire doesn't want to play. It looks like that. And that could be the case. I just want to handle this one a little bit more delicately, even though something seems to be awry. Something doesn't seem right.
Is it he doesn't want to play because he knows he's on his way out?
Maybe.
Or he doesn't want to play because he only plays when he's 100%?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the case is when it comes to Jaire.
He's clearly driving the bus, right? He's clearly driving the bus.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Which coaches do not like. Because when the training staff in Chicago said, yeah, he's cleared, he's good to go, and he plays 10 plays.
Yeah.
And LaFleur's answers ever since then about Jaire have been very
He's seemed snarky. Annoyed. Yes.
Annoyed?
Non-committal. Although he did say there's swelling in the knee. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what that means. And hopefully Jason can provide a little bit more clarity when we talk to Jason in just a moment.
You know who has swelling in their body this time of year?
You?
Everybody! It's week 18. Everybody does.
He got it right. Week 18, attaboy.
Yeah. Hey, I did a little show prep.
Oh, he came ready with these Chewy resolutions.
I wrote them down
right away. That was organic. That was right off the top of the head.
Well, we've got some other resolutions here that people are chiming in with, Chewy.
Yep.
Augie from Fredonia saying, I'm not going to buy into someone telling me not to sleep on Atlanta.
They're still in the playoff hunt, and if they make the playoffs, I have achieved my goal.
God.
If they make the playoffs, I have achieved my goal. Am I right or wrong?
If Tampa Bay loses and Atlanta wins, we're never going to hear that.
What do you mean you win? I had a hand just like that before. I didn't win.
Because I win.
I mean, a comment like that comes when they've been out of it for 4 or 5 weeks. They're still in the hunt. So that still is going to turn out to be a really good call on my part. That's how I look at it.
They played 18 or 17 meaningful games, had 18 meaningful weeks.
Yeah.
Frankie's saying his New Year's resolution, his NFL resolution, is like Chewy, not listen to pundits and fans tell me how good Green Bay is and how they're a Super Bowl contender when they haven't been to a Super Bowl, even successful in the playoffs in a decade, getting close to Cowboys territory there. No, Frankie, come on, man. Like, we don't have to go all the way the other way, like, and pretend. Like, going to NFC Championship games, that is successful. They've done that a bunch in the last decade. You know who hasn't been to even an NFC Championship game in 30 years? That's the Dallas Cowboys. All right? Like, the Packers are nowhere near Cowboy territory.
No.
They have gone to NFC Championship games in 14, in 16, in 20, or 19, and in 20. They've been to 4 in the last 10 years.
Yes.
All right? Like, that. There's still some success that's happening there, even if you don't have the ultimate success nowhere near the Cowboys. All right? I won't let you go that far, Frankie. Won't let you go that far.
Yeah, that's far. I can't believe it's been 30 years. Holy.
Yeah, seriously, Chew. When they beat you
Is
guys,
that the last time
when they
played
beat you,
them? Was the,
yes,
yeah.
When they beat you in '95, that's the last NFC Championship game they went to.
Yes,
which is crazy, crazy for
and
America's
they
team.
haven't. Yeah, America's team where they win 2 playoff games
since then. And they've only won 2 playoff games in 30 years.
Yeah, both with Mac.
No, they won a playoff game with in 14. The year they came, the Dez didn't catch it year. They won a playoff game to come to Green Bay because the Packers had a bye that year.
Did they?
Yeah, so they won a playoff game there. They won one with Mac.
Who cares? They suck.
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, like the Packers have more playoff wins in that building than the Cowboys do.
Yes.
They have three playoff wins, including a Super Bowl in Jerry's world, which is absolutely crazy. We will continue to get to your NFL resolutions. We want your 2025 NFL resolutions. Chewy has his 2. One, he's not going to listen to anyone tell him the Bears are going to be any good next year, and he's not going to listen to anybody gush about the Packers' defensive line. We'll have to. That one's a little bit tougher because you've got to keep that one, in the front of the brain once we get to training camp in late July, early August. So you're going to have to hold on to that one. But what are your NFL resolutions? We'll see if Jason Wilde has any when he joins us. Coming up next.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
It's definitely looking like a holiday morning out there on the roads. Things are running along smoothly. We do have just one disabled vehicle to let you know about. 94 westbound, about a mile beyond the ramp from Highway 100. The right shoulder is blocked due to that vehicle, but things are still moving along pretty smoothly there. Now your Storm Team forecast for today, a light mix to the south and cloudy with a high of 40 degrees. Tonight, cloudy, flurries, and some light snow showers possible, a low of 27. For tomorrow on your New Year's Day, partly cloudy, possible flurries early with a high of 31. Thursday, partly cloudy and a high of 30. On Friday, mostly sunny, colder with some wind chills, a high of 24. And on Saturday, mostly sunny, still a little bit colder with a high of 23 degrees. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 94.5 ESPN.
The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
You still had a cigarette lighter in there?
No, we should all be dead.
An ashtray.
They have the station wagons where the people in the back were facing the other direction.
The Homer Hour with Homer.
The Packers got more money than God, so there's in the NFL there's no shortage. Yes, we need fundamentally in the NFL, anything Detroit does, you just assume you can do it better.
Weekdays from 5 to 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Did your holiday shipping let your customers down or peak volumes too much to handle? Partner with ShipBob for better order fulfillment in 2025. ShipBob fulfills orders for you, whether they're from your website, retail partners, marketplaces, or social channels, and delivers affordable 2-day shipping from dozens of fulfillment centers across the U.S. and worldwide. Plus, our dashboard lets you view real-time inventory levels across all your locations and channels. Go to shipbob.com for a free quote.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site, and to all a good night.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Ready, down, hunt. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Just some quick research before we get to Jason Wilde. Chew, since the Cowboys, again, I blame Frankie for this, since he brought it up saying the Packers were reaching, Cowboys types of levels of not having playoff success. Since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in 1995, which was the last year they've been to the Super Bowl, last time they've been to the NFC Championship game, they have won 5 playoff games. From 1996 until now, they have won 5 playoff games. That's it. 5.
Yeah. Gabe, and I also had Ashton put up a poll because I want to measure the toad meter. Simply just had him put, are the Packers going to win the Super Bowl?
Okay.
And we'll see where this winds up at the end of the show.
All right. We'll check in with that just like we check in with our friend, our teammate. We check in with Jason Wilde. As for one final time, Jason, in 2024, we have a Dude Tuesday. What's up, dude?
Hi, guy.
Hi, guys. How are you? Super Bowl bound Packers. What's up, dudes?
So Chewy has his NFL resolutions that he gave us in the first segment, Jason. Number one, he's not going to listen to anybody, whether it's nationally, whether it's locally, whatever it is. Tell him how good the Bears are going to be. He's just not going to buy into that. And his second one is he's not going to buy into any sort of preseason or training camp hype on the Packers defensive line. Do you have any NFL resolutions that you have for 2025?
Ooh. Those are both really good.
Yeah, and again.
Did you do now, were you guilty of both of those this season then, and that's why you're pushing back on them?
Yeah, totally. Because, Jason, it kind of felt like this year's D-line was the Luke Musgrave of the previous year.
You are so...
Just kind of felt that way.
It is amazing to me what a complete knucklehead you are, and yet how good you are at this at the same time. It never ceases to amaze me. That's such a good line. Yeah, I don't do many resolutions in like real non-football life other than I'm going to get in shape. And as you can see, I've really nailed that one for the last 15 years or so. But I would say this. I think, I was thinking about this week as things kind of unfolded the way they did on Sunday. Like, I go back to 2 years ago in the trailer at Summerfest, and you and I, Gabe, talking to Strofe, and they ended up being far better than we anticipated, and we were wrong about what our expectations were. This year, unless they go on some sort of incredible 3-road game run here and start beating teams that are better than them, I am going to feel very good about what I had said about this team and where it stood, that it was a year away, that they could end up with a better record and be a better team and not go as far in the playoffs as they did a year ago, because that's a distinct possibility the way things have played out. So I think one of the things that we should all resolve to do is to temper expectations, because I don't know if it does you any good, right? Like, what a joy the 23 season was, because you didn't really have expectations. And then so many people went into this season, we talked about Jordan Love and how, defensive coordinators have film on him now, so are they going to have a better idea of how to defend him? We kind of went through a little period there where we were thinking, okay, here he goes again, Mr. Toyotathon. Is Toyotathon over? Because he did not play like Toyotathon Jordan in Minneapolis, right? So I think the biggest thing is to, I believe they are a good team. I believe they'll be a better team next year. But I think a lot of folks did a lot of crowning of a lot of people, both individually and of this team. And I think what we've learned this season is, like Chewy's teams, had to win in 93, 94, 95 breakthrough, but not get to the Super Bowl. This is a process. And so my resolution is to always remember, it's a process. It's a process. It's a process.
Jason, what's your gut tell you on Jaire? Is there more than
Matt
being...
LaFleur now?
Yeah,
What gut guy? Yeah, I think my gut has told me all along that it's kind of David Bakhtiari 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Well, but...
What?
Well, I feel like Bach got a bad rap. Like, I felt like people...
No. You're right. Let me clarify that.
Okay.
The sequel is that the coaches and the head coach felt like he could have been playing and got sick of the weekly will he or won't he. And I think that, he did allow a little bit in answer to Rob's terrific question yesterday about, is there a difference of opinion between what you guys think he can do and what he thinks he can do in terms of playing? And whether or not it was justified or not last year, Gabe, I think that was what LaFleur got very frustrated with, right? You can you could run back press conference footage of him answering Bakhtiari questions and him answering Jaire questions, and it's almost the exact same affect from him.
So he didn't learn anything from the Bakhtiari situation? Because if it's a legitimate injury, like his reaction, Jason, I think led to the fan base going, oh, Bakhtiari just doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to be out there. And I feel like that's the same thing's happening. How did LaFleur not learn any lessons, especially for a guy who's been known as such a player's guy and having his players' backs?
Well, unless, of course, he realized he was wrong about Bakhtiari, but he doesn't think he's wrong about Jaire. Right? Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not a medical guy, to quote Matt LaFleur, but PCL injuries, they're not frequent, but the ones that I have seen players deal with, they're not supposed to be season-ending. And at this point, other than those 10 snaps, and he obviously was really, really ticked about that whole scenario because I wasn't in Chicago that day, but he was out there on the field with Jaire before the game, Like they had this big powwow about, are you ready to play, et cetera, et cetera. Jaire said he was good to go. And then for him to pull the plug after 10 snaps, that obviously really, really pissed LaFleur off. And so I think that's part of it. I think there's a few people, including Tausch, who have made good points about just how maybe more emotional than previously he has been this season about a variety of things, and this is probably another one that should be on the list, is the situation with his cornerback. But when I look at how this has played out, I don't think he thinks it's the same as Bakhtiari, even though his reaction has been the same, because ultimately, I think they found that, okay, David's injury was much more complicated and problematic than what I think LaFleur thinks Jaire's is. And look, the other difference is eventually David stood at his locker for 45 minutes and explained all the intricacies of what he was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I assume at some point he had also articulated that to the coaches and the medical staff and everybody else last year, but I don't get the sense that there's been great communication about this year from Jaire, certainly not to us, but also to everybody at 1265.
But Jason, could part of it be, and you've been around Jaire for years, could part of it be the rumblings he's hearing, like he is not returning to this team next year? Could Jaire just say, fine, I'm not playing anymore? Could that be part of it?
Yeah, it certainly could be. I mean, again, my frustration with this, and whether it's, the old days that, and Ted, I remember Ted got really mad at Schneider for spilling the tea about how Carl Peterson screwed them on the trade for Tony Gonzalez, right? Like they had an agreement on a third-round pick. They reneged at the last second before the trade deadline, and Carl Peterson said he needed a second-round pick. Schneider was ready to do it anyway. Ted said, no, we're not letting them do that. The fact that all of that, let Schneider, quote Schneider, who was actually a unnamed source, told me all that. But remember, like even I think in fairness to John, I mean, even Tony Gonzalez himself thought he was going to be a Packer and vented to the local media in Kansas City that they had basically misled him. But the reason why that's germane to this is Ted had guys that he wasn't like paranoid. He wasn't happy about John giving the full details of that. But as a big picture, he had guys like him, like Reggie McKenzie, like John Dorsey, who would talk to us behind the scenes and fill the vacuum of information until later in Ted's career. And there were a bunch of things going on then, obviously, and all those guys had left. So my point is that they haven't had anybody say to get LaFleur off the podium and not have to answer questions about this. Like yesterday, they just don't, or Goody doesn't believe in the idea of, all right, if we tell the media things on background and they can write it without us being quoted, it can actually help us and save us from dealing with some of the stuff when our coach is standing at the podium facing the media, that he doesn't have to answer questions because we've already fed them our version of what's going on here, and they've run with it. Right now, the flip side of that is it's not fair to the player necessarily, and the player has every opportunity. I mean, I joked about it, but Jaire had every opportunity when he came over to me in the locker room and told me, like, my sweatshirt. Like, I didn't just take the compliment and say, oh, great to see you, buddy. Like I said, you got a minute? He's like, oh, I got to go. Like, he's had every opportunity to give his side of the story. He has not done it either. So my problem with these types of stories is in this vacuum of actual information from the people involved, conjecture then fills that vacuum. And that's where we were with Bakhtiari until he finally talked. and with the way LaFleur was behaving about it, and now we're right back there again with a guy who missed 9 games due to injury and a 10th due to suspension last year, and now this year is back having missed 9 games already this season.
Jason, has Matt LaFleur been different heading into these big games this year? Because I know he talked about it and how he was kind of on edge against Detroit. And Tausch said it on Green Bay game night where he thinks that Kevin O'Connell ate Matt LaFleur's lunch. Is LaFleur putting too much pressure on himself heading into some of these bigger games?
He might be. I didn't think that he was going into this game as nearly as, what's the word Chewy likes, puckery. And I didn't think he was nearly as bad this past week as he was going into Detroit, at least publicly. Maybe behind the scenes he was, and I just, we didn't see it. But, I just think he is hyper competitive. There's no doubt about it. He is obsessive about this, and I think that there are times when that goes to his detriment. But what I think Tausch's point was, and I don't want to speak for him, but I think it's just that he's allowing his intense desire to win and his emotions to get away from him. And, he's berating the down judge. Even if he was right about, whether or not Edgerrin Cooper had entered the neutral zone with that flinch. Because remember, he did, regardless of whether you think he crossed the line or not, he did flinch. And I also find myself wondering, because after all their offsides, encroachments, neutral zone infraction penalties, I did something that I probably should have done long ago but hadn't. I went and looked up in the NFL handbook the difference between all 3 of those penalties.
Okay.
And, of course, now I can't remember them, so that's great. Radio will be. But, one is if you make contact.
Yep.
One is if you cause the guy on the offensive player to flinch. The other one is if you literally cross the line of scrimmage and then are unabated to the quarterback. So there are, by the letter of the law, I think, even if we are looking at Edgerrin Cooper and saying, well, he didn't really cross the line of scrimmage, did he enter the neutral zone with his flinch? And Matt LaFleur thought not, and the down judge, who I happen to go to college with,
oh, really?
and is one of my good friends. Yeah, his name is Mike Carr. He was, I don't know how he'll be graded on that call, but you could read LaFleur's lips. Mike, that's not offsides. Mike, that's not offsides. So back to your original question is, in the first Minnesota game, that was the game where he was jumping up and down and drew the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the sideline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has been more on edge and more reactionary and more emotional. And to Tausch's point, look at Kevin O'Connell, right? You just his core emotion, if he shows anyone, is hugging guys and telling them how much he cares about them. You don't see him lose his crap. And when you look back on great coaches, Chewy played for one that I think is going to get into the Hall of Fame, certainly should, and he certainly blew his stack from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Sherman, other than losing his mind over Chris Akins on the sideline being insubordinate, and other than going after Warren Sapp after that game, he very rarely did, right? He rarely showed emotion. And Mike McCarthy, I still remember him in Cincinnati when Rodgers was screaming at him, and McCarthy's giving him this look like, what the hell are you doing? It's the same face that Steph Curry gave LeBron James in the finals years ago when LeBron James was all mad. He's looking at him like, dude, what's wrong with you? That is kind of what I'm accustomed to. Holmgren, very emotional. The other 2 guys, very rarely emotional. And Matt LaFleur, up until really this year, was kind of in the McCarthy-Sherman category, right? he would get frustrated with certain things. You saw him throw his red challenge flag down like he was spiking it after a touchdown on occasion. But more often than not, he was pretty even-keeled. And I thought last year a little bit more, and now this year a lot more. He's shown more of that. And as I told Tausch yesterday, I don't want to ask that question at a press conference. I don't think that elicits a good answer from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to request to talk to him one-on-one this week in hopes of getting a chance to ask him about this, because I do think it's a story, and I'm interested to see if he agrees with Tausch and us in how we're kind of viewing him this season.
Jason, always appreciate the time, buddy. Look forward to more on the Packers with you and Tausch coming up in, well, it's going to be about 80 minutes at this point.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well, no, there's a lot of stuff to get to, Jason. We didn't even get to everything I wanted to, but that's what Thursday's for.
I look forward to it, boys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde joins us 3 times a week here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Things we can react to, certainly, off of that. Plus, we still want to hear from you and your NFL resolutions, the way Chewy has taken the lead on that. We hear from you next, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are still looking good on the roads as we get into daylight here. We do still have this disabled vehicle just to let you know about on 94 westbound, about a mile beyond the ramp from Highway 100. The right shoulder is blocked there, but doesn't appear to be causing much in the way of delays at all. Your Storm Team forecast now. For today, light mix to the south and cloudy, a high of 40 degrees. Tonight, cloudy with some flurries or light snow showers possible, a low of 27. Wednesday, partly cloudy and flurries possible early for your New Year's Day morning, a high of 31 degrees. Thursday, partly cloudy and a high of 30. Friday, mostly sunny, colder and wind chills with a high of 24. And on Saturday, mostly sunny and colder with a high of 23. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Whistling Straits for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 94.5 ESPN.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's or Kettle Chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80 count selected varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5 ounce selected varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26 ounce selected varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal, free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
Hey, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. Guys, let's talk about something important. You. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa is here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step towards a more confident you.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But remember he said his birthday?
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little freaky.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, look at our horny little boy. We're so good for him. Like, everybody's so supportive of Giannis, they just kind of look past it.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Chewy's got 2 NFL resolutions. He's not going to listen to anyone when they try to tell him the Bears are going to be good in 2025. He's not going to listen to anyone. I guess unless they're... Do you want to add an amendment? Like, if they go out and make some sort of big splash signing or trade...
No, I'm not. No, it's the Bears. They're cursed.
Well, no, I'm talking about the defensive line. Like, if the Packers go out and make some big splash defensive line signing or surprise us all and make some sort of big trade.
I'm specifically talking about this group.
Okay.
If they roll it back, which I believe they will roll it back, and is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have your NFL resolution, 800-990-3776 is the ESPN Milwaukee talk or text line. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is going on with Jaire. We talked with Jason. He doesn't really know what's going on. Matt LaFleur's been evasive. As somebody who's been in a locker room, Chew, I don't know if you've really ever dealt with something like this. If suddenly, I mean, you've dealt with the inverse when Gabe Wilkins decided he couldn't play in the Super Bowl, played all the way along, and then, Super Bowl, I can't. What if Jaire suddenly goes, yeah, I'm ready to go, and wants to play against Philly? Are you just rolling your eyes, or are you, this guy's really good, he could help us, we want him on the field?
Well, yeah, of course I want him on the field because it makes the team better, but here's what I believe, Gabe. There was a meeting last year at the end of the year, specifically for Jaire and LaFleur. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Where I believe LaFleur says, look, you got one more straw. That's it.
Yeah.
You have one more straw, and that's it. We're not putting up with this stuff, blah, 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 right? I think Jaire knows that he just busted his straw, and I don't know if he's not going to play this week against the Bears.
I would agree.
Does he go out with Philly just to make himself look good with the potential of next year someone picking him up? Because you guys said he's not tradable.
I don't think so.
I can't believe he's not tradable.
Well, true.
The guy is an idiot, but he still has value.
Well, let's say you're a team in the AFC looking for cornerback help. What are you giving up for Jaire? Knowing what you know, and knowing that NFL GMs probably have an even better idea of what we know because they're on the inside. What'd you give up for Jaire?
Let me ask you this question. Is he better than Lattimore when playing?
Lattimore's probably a half tick better.
And then what did Lattimore go for, a 2?
Yeah.
So you would think a 3.
But
you know,
and you don't think there's any chance he gets a 3?
Well, Jude,
I know there's.
But do you think Jaire's not playing right now to just save his future? Like, do you think this is what Gabe was talking about with the D-box stuff, which I think was a really interesting comparison. But, like, do you think Jaire's not playing because he's actually injured and can't play? Or he's like, I'm going to wait until I can showcase me being healthy, and then hopefully I'll either be on this team and a star next year with a new contract, or I'll be somewhere else that wants me?
Actually, I had a PCL, right? I had a PCL in 97. Right? I came back. I missed one game. I shouldn't have been playing in game 2. I shouldn't have been. And I'll never forget it. It was against Miami. And, Gabe, I think I showed you the footage of me running a basic cross, which is a crossing route at about 12 yards. And you could tell I was hobbled. Shouldn't have been playing. And I remember Jimmy Johnson came up to me before the game and said, God, I wish I had more guys like you that would actually play when they're banged up. So I was probably – because you're never going to get to 100% with that type of injury, but I would say 4 weeks in, I was 95%. I'd done wearing the brace and all that. I think he knows he's out of town. He's doing what he's always done his way. I believe the medical staff would say, LaFleur, he's good to go, which would explain his reaction when asked about Jaire. And Jaire's going to do what he wants to do, but at the end of the day, Jaire's doing what's best for him. So if he believes playing for Philly to get some film and show that he's still an elite corner, he's going to do it. If he's not 100%, if he's 98%, he ain't going to play. And then he'll be gone next year.
Well, let's go ahead and listen to what we've referenced it a couple of different times. So let's listen to what Matt LaFleur had to say about Jaire Alexander yesterday in a back and forth with Rob Domofsky.
Do you think there's any chance you'll have Jaire at all the rest of the season?
Yeah, I don't know. As soon as I know, I'll let you guys know.
Is there like a difference of opinion between what he thinks his health is and what you guys think it is?
Yeah, I can't really get into all that. I do know that he's been dealing with swelling, and he doesn't feel right to go out there and play.
Well, I mean, he's basically saying the guy should be playing. He's, doing it his way.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have swelling. This time of year, Gabe, because, you just think of all the balls a receiver's catches from the day one of training camp to now.
Mm-hmm.
My knuckles would be so swollen this time of year that, you had to just oil them up and get them going. Because the amount of balls
would you wake up in the morning and your hands would just be like stiff, like you couldn't move them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'd have swelling. Sure,
I'm just
absolutely.
imagining Chewy like Frankenstein, where he's just like, like trying to, where's the tooth?
No, that's how it was. That's how it was. And it was on a Thursday when the Toradol wore off, and you're like, give me another one, please. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
The Toradol was so bad for you guys.
No,
wait, so what would you do? What would you do to like kind of loosen up, just like slowly be able to move them? And as the day kind of went on, you were able to move your hands just like a little bit more?
The motion that he's got to do is like this, like the tiger.
He's doing tiger. Yeah, we're doing tiger.
You get in the tub and you loosen it up, and it's just, things, oil. But you're slobbering so much, what is it, Bengay all over yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Or whatever they had back then. I put it on my lower back before every practice just to get loose. And, guys would put it on their knees, and you just put it wherever you're having a tough time getting things oiled up to get going, But, yeah, everyone's, this time of year, everyone is beat up. That's why I gave you the scale at the start of training camp. You start at 100, right? And by this time, depending on the year, how beat up you are, how much you're playing and stuff, if I played a long year, I'd be at 93%.
Okay.
Compared to when I first took the field in training camp. Probably not even 93 because you're weaker, you're smaller, you're sorer. So, yeah.
Our buddy Ashton needs a little bit of help, and I think Chewy could be the guy to help him. We'll get through that coming up next. But look, tomorrow, it's New Year's Day. Maybe you've got plans tonight, maybe you don't, but you certainly should have plans tomorrow. 3 college football games that you're going to be able to kick back and watch, in the quarterfinals. That's going to be great. You're not going to want to get up and really have to plan anything. You're just going to sit back and watch those games. And what goes better with football than pizza? You want to make sure that your freezer today is stocked up with Palermo's Pizza, with great brands like Palermo's, Urban Pie, Connie's, Surfer Boy Pizza, Screamin' Sicilian, so many different brands, whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for a thicker crust, a medium crust, a thin crust, or that crispy cracker crust, they have solutions for you when it comes to your frozen pizza. Keep an eye out for them in your grocer's frozen food aisle. I'll tell you what, I always make sure I keep at least 2, maybe sometimes 3 different Palermo's pizzas in my freezer because you never know what kind of crust, what kind of flavors you're going to be looking for. But I can promise you this, tomorrow during college football, I'm going to be having a Palermo's. You should be as well. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Romeo. This 3-syllable, you have to take the O out of the equation. That's too easy.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Iota, right? Not one iota.
Iota. Yeah. That's only 4 letters.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
Let's pretend you're a first-time listener to Wilde and Tausch. What the hell is this? They're discussing syllables.
On 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you are planning to visit the great city of Milwaukee, you can enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Guys, when my pals come in from ESPN to stay in our great city, guess where they stay? St. Kate. Why? Because it's got deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Hey, everyone who I let try borscht likes it. They don't love it, but it's a liver.
What an endorsement.
This is your
but hold on.
Hey, yeah, like, guys, good luck. I don't even have to talk anymore.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Well, the big guy Chewy has certainly helped Ashton become a lot of things, more confident in life, right? Mm-hmm. There's still some nervous tendencies that Ashton has. And he's got one. He was kind of nervous when he was talking to me about this morning, Chewy, and he just needs your help because you travel a lot. You're flying back and forth from here to Florida, where you are right now. You know, you've taken a bunch of the international trips. You had the cruise earlier this year. So, Ashton, what is your dilemma that maybe Chewy can help us with?
I need so much help in this aspect. I don't know.
And Chewy's always been there for you.
Allegedly. I have no idea what to do. I need to buy a flight to go to Phoenix from Milwaukee in March. We're at like the 8-week mark now, which is when I am of the belief that prices start to now really climb when you're in that like 8-week range before you're supposed to leave. Yesterday, a flight was at a certain price, and one of my friends booked it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to wait, I think. I think I'm going to sleep on it and make sure this is what I want to do, or I'm going to look maybe elsewhere on a different airline, or maybe it'll drop in a week or two. And I said, I'm going to wait. I woke up this morning. The first thing I did was I checked the flights, and they went up $150 already. So what am I to do? Do I wait?
Okay.
Couple
things.
There's another airline that has a cheaper flight, but it's an airline I don't love flying as much because I can't choose the seat. You guys can decide which airline it is from there. I don't know what to do.
All right, couple things. Stop reverting back to panicky, nervous Nelly Ashton. Okay, just stop it right there. You haven't been hanging out with me enough. That's part of the problem. 2, I can't stand the beard. The beard looks terrible. Trim that thing up. I mean, you're not Justin Turner for crying out loud.
Chewy and my mom are the only two people who don't like the beard.
Yes.
Well, does your fiance like the beard?
Yeah, my fiance Emily is a fan of it.
That's all that matters.
Thank you.
Would she tell you if she didn't like it?
Oh yeah, she'll tell me the truth on many things. Yeah.
As a sidebar, got a haircut, got the beard trimmed yesterday. Got home, my wife goes, "Do you like what they did to your beard?"
So
you says enough. That sounded very LaFleur.
Don't have to read between the lines there.
All right, now I'm ready.
Ashy, in regards to the flight, I just went up and talked to the general.
Yes.
Who's the queen of running lean.
Salute.
Okay?
What?
She said, yes, wait, there'll definitely be another sale, but you have to look on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because
that's what I was
typically,
told.
I guess.
Yes.
That's typically the day that people do not look for flights. So she said, yes, there'll be a handful more sales, but wait, but you got to check it on Tuesday and Wednesday.
So today is Tuesday. Now,
New Year's Eve.
I know,
yeah.
I know. Should I keep checking throughout the day? Do I just wait?
Just check Tuesday, Wednesday. I thought February. She was on the phone, so I interrupted her. But
some things are more important.
Yeah, she said get lost, basically.
Okay.
In kind of an endearing way.
In the most loving way possible, you can say get lost. Yes. Yeah, we understand.
So, Ashy, just check. I don't think they'll go any higher because obviously they're going to be really high now around the holidays and things like that. But I remember her saying February has some screaming deals. So don't panic yet.
We all know I'm going to panic. Good. I'm going to panic by these. We all know. I'm going to look. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to give you guys an update in the second hour because I'm just going to keep looking.
Know what I love to do, Gabe? One of my favorite things to do is the old
I told you so?
I told you so. Uh-huh. So I'll be looking as well.
Could you let me know if you find a good deal? I know you love I told you
That's
so.
Fantastic.
I know. If you shave the beard.
I'm going to get it cleaned up before I go to Mexico City in a couple weeks. So I'll get it trimmed.
Man,
okay.
Man, this guy had never been on a flight. Now he's flying
time.
all over the place now.
Big time.
He's our boss.
Yeah.
Just needed a girlfriend.
Thank you, Chew. Thank you,
You're
Chew.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go to break, losers.
Are the wide receivers good enough? We discuss in 2 minutes. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Things are continuing to look good on the roads this morning as we get into our New Year's Eve day, and no major incidents or delays to report at this time. Taking a look at your Storm Team forecast for today, a light mix to the south and cloudy with a high of 40. Tonight, cloudy, flurries, light snow shower possible, a low of 27. On Wednesday, partly cloudy and flurries possible early for your New Year's Day, a high of 31. Thursday, partly cloudy, high 30. Friday, mostly sunny, colder with some wind chills, a high of 24. And on Saturday, mostly sunny, still cold with a high of only 23. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play Whistling Straits for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 94.5 ESPN.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucs fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice double gold medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hey, all you sports bettors, if you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you're missing out on an elite experience. Honestly, guys, it's a complete sports betting paradise. State-of-the-art venue, self-service kiosks, seating for more than 200 people, very comfortable chairs, by the way, so you can watch all of your favorite games. First-class bar, restaurant, VIP deck, broadcast booth, and, of course, the giant video wall over 2,000 square feet. If you haven't been there yet, guys, you really are missing out. Bet above the rest only at Potawatomi. Check them out at paysbig.com as well.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We've been talking about the defense a lot today. That comes down to the defense. Now, when it matters the most, can you get that stop to give Jordan Love and your offense an opportunity to get in a field goal range and steal a victory? They didn't.
Defensively, I mean, you got to get pressure on these guys if they're going to drop back that many times, and if you don't, it's going to be a long day.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
They're a good team. You know who doesn't win the Super Bowl?
Good teams.
Good teams. You got to be great.
I think there absolutely is a belief that we can win one of these games. We got to go do it. Bottom line. And we got to earn the right to play these guys again.
I said that this team would be there next year. I can't say that.
We're going to have to find ways when the playoffs start to go in those road atmospheres and win those tough games. But it's only going to get tougher for us. So we know that. We got to find ways to keep improving, keep getting better.
But I have concerns. I'm already moving to next year. I'm sorry.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chmura. Here's Jen Latta.
A lot of advice here for our guy Ashley. Coming in on the talking text line, we've got Steve and Jason telling him to use incognito mode whenever you're searching for flights.
I thought that was... Wait, why?
There's a theory out there that the airlines kind of track those types of things, and if you don't use incognito mode and the cookies and all that sort of thing, can help them track when you're looking and then can...
But what about
up the flight of the price?
We really need Jen here today for this.
Sure.
I feel like she's another person that extremely.
Well, I mean, she flies the most. I mean, Chewy flies a lot.
Chewy knows to get the deals. Jen knows how to get when to get on the flight. I feel like, and by when I mean not when to get on the flight.
Again, if we think Chewy travels a lot,
well, you know what? I can tell you guys this. Oh yeah, but I could tell you this. I don't even know how to get a flight. I would have no idea.
Why the hell am I asking you for advice on this?
We may have gone to the wrong person.
No, because I went and asked the general. No, I went and asked the general. The general's most times right.
Did you just say she was annoyed with you for bothering her?
She said, yeah, leave me alone, basically. But that's what she always does.
Poor guy. Our poor guy here.
So when you go get a flight, I don't even know. You got to obviously put a credit card in, right?
Oh, God. All right, I'll give you guys an update later. I'm going to keep scrolling through my phone.
All right. There's a lot of things I don't know how to do.
New Year's resolution: teach Chewy how to use a credit card.
How do you think you just reserve it and then pay for it later?
I don't know if I have an account on Southwest. Do I have do they bill me? Do I have an account?
Do they bill me? What year is it?
Hold on.
Do you still carry
When
checks?
I go on Amazon, I don't have to put anything in. I just hit stuff, and it comes to my house.
Because you already have the account, the credit card saved, sure.
I just hit
Do I have that? Do I have that on Southwest?
I would guess probably.
I'm guessing, is there an account within your family? I would guess so. I would guess that there is an account accruing points because that's what you need in order to accrue those points. You need to have the account. And I'm guessing, knowing your wife, the way that you have described her on the show, she is going to want those points.
Okay, because I just found out it's the same way on Uber.
What?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Yep.
You've got an account. It's got the card hooked up to the account, and that's how you order an Uber.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. I'm coming. Hey, I'm a little slow. I'm pacing myself, all right?
Okay.
I am not a sprinter. I'm a long-distance runner.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought about you, The 6'6" guy, the 6'6", 250-pound guy is a long-distance runner.
Ashton, do you still run?
Yeah, I ran, let's see, when I was in Alabama last week, we did every other day I was running 3 miles.
I can't tell.
What was the point of setting that up if you were just going to be mean to me
So he could be mean to you about it.
It's because of the beard. That's fine. You're just mad at me about the beard. You miss me.
All right, what do we got? Where are we going now?
So you're confusing sometimes. I don't understand you sometimes.
Why am I confusing?
Because yesterday we played a clip. It was very similar to the one we're about to play about Jordan Love talking about the wide receivers. So then yesterday you send us this story from a website I've never heard of about Jordan Love talking about the wide receivers. So let's go ahead. We'll play this clip and see if you've got anything to say about it today since you didn't have anything to say about it yesterday.
It's one of those things where, we all got to be better. I got to be better. When they're playing man coverage, it comes down to winning that one-on-one as a receiver. And as a quarterback, you got to have great ball placement and, make plays. But it's one-on-one coverage, so guys just got to go win. And we didn't do a good enough job of that. But it's on everybody. There's not one guy that it falls on. It's a whole team thing. So there's a lot of stuff we'll look back on film and have to clean up and figure out ways to be able to win versus that coverage.
How don't you take that as a snub?
Because
they have to be better. Yeah. I know he takes shots at himself as well.
Yeah.
Because he has to, because he's got to code that in a way to call out the receivers while blasting yourself. But he's basically, the way I break down is like, hey, you guys aren't real good against man-to-man. You got to give me more of a window.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah, but I don't mind saying that, Gabe, to them. But, I'm certainly not going to say it in the media. I would just, if he was saying that about the tight ends, I would be like, and that's why Brett was so smart. Because he would never do that, but he would say things in a way to sugarcoat it because he knew our reaction would be, hey, stop throwing picks. Okay? Stop throwing picks. Mm-hmm.
Sure, but he says he needs to have better ball placement. He needs to play better.
He has to cover.
Yeah, but the last guy wouldn't necessarily even say that.
I just don't like it in the media. I just don't like it. That's I'm old school. I just don't like it.
I guess I just feel because he's calling himself out, I look at it as no big deal. Because
like that when the coach does it, the head coach would say it like that. I wouldn't love it, but I would listen to it. But when another position does that, even though they're calling themselves out, I'm just not a fan. Not a fan.
I did not look at that as that big of a deal because the wide receivers didn't win enough against one-on-one coverage. The Vikings' game plan was very obvious. We're playing man-to-man because you can't beat us if we play man-to-man.
That's why they're number 2s and number 3s. You know what number 1s do?
Beat man-to-man.
There you go. So they made their bed.
So are these wide receivers good enough? Are they good enough to get this team to where they need to go? And can they still develop is the question. I haven't seen a ton of development this year, Chew, and I went back and I looked because this was kind of the first thing that crossed my mind. Because it was easy to compare and contrast with what the Vikings have and the way that Justin Jefferson played versus, and look, I understand Jefferson's the best receiver in the league. I'm not expecting something like that. But I went back and I looked at Greg Jennings and Jordy and Randall Cobb and, some of these guys, that Devontae Adams, guys that they've had. And, Devontae within his first 3 years didn't have 1,000 yards, but he had 997 in year 3. Within the first 3 years, Greg Jennings had 1,000 yards. It was year 4 before Jordy really took off, but then he had over 1,000 yards. That's what we're approaching with these guys, is year 3 and year 4 for next season. It feels like next year's the proving ground, and I don't know if because Romeo and Christian Watson, you could potentially sign them because a lot of times you want to sign before that last year of the contract. I don't know if I would sign any of these guys because I don't know what their value is because nobody has truly separated themselves as, oh, we can't be without this guy.
Well, let me go through their stats. Okay, Jaden Reed, who I thought would be between 70, I think, and 80 receptions, has 53. Okay? Christian Watson,
maybe he has 17 against the Bears.
Possibly. Christian Watson, who I thought would be in the 50s, maybe, has 29. Romeo Doubs, who in training camp was going to have to be triple covered because Jaire said he was that good, has 46. Wicks, who was in training camp potentially going to be their number one receiver because he was that good, has 34.
Yeah.
How would you rank them now, Gabe? How would you rank them?
I would say Christian's the best. Jaden Reed is 2. Romeo 3. Wicks 4.
I would almost go Christian with his 29 catches, 1. Dobbs with his leaving for 2 days has 46. Wicks, who is the potential number 1, 34. And Jaden Reed has done nothing in the last how many games, Gabe?
No, it's not great. He has more.
It's not great.
I mean, you want to talk about inconsistency, Chew? So he's got 3 games of 100 yards or more. Fantastic. Great. Good for you.
Yeah.
He has 4 games of 10 yards or less.
Yeah.
10 yards.
I mean, if I'm running an offense, Gabe, in the NFL, right? For me, the ideal split would be 60-40.
60
Not
pass,
50,
40 run?
50. Yeah. Maybe even, this really messes me up. 65.
35.
35?
Yep.
65, 35.
Okay, now you're lashing out because he was lashing out at you.
I mean, if you look at, I mean, I know Philly runs the ball real well because they got an unbelievable back.
Well,
not to take anything away from Josh Jacobs, who's a great back, but I think LaFleur would probably be happier with a 60-40 split, right?
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 split because these receivers are, like you said, 2s and 3s. You know?
And there's only so much scheming you can do to get these guys open, right? Like I look at it as the same thing as Halfley when we talk about the defensive line. Like there's only so many things Halfley can do to scheme up pressure, and you can't do that week in and week out, right? Like you can have a specific game plan where we look like we're bringing pressure and we back out, and you're able to catch the offensive line off guard, and you're able to get pressure that way. But ultimately, there are just some games where you need to get pressure with 4. Same way Same thing on offense.
Same thing offensively, Gabe. I said, look, their formula has been Josh Jacobs, run the ball, get it to him early. There's going to come a point in time, like what happened against Minnesota, where that stops. Where that stops. And now you have to throw it for 380 to win a ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, people that think they're going to go Philadelphia, Detroit, maybe Minnesota, and be able to do it with this 50-50 split.
Well, again, it just shows you having that number 1 wide receiver. It's a debate that I don't think so many people wanted to have because they thought Aaron Rodgers had, he's got tunnel vision for Devontae. He keeps throwing to Devontae. And because he threw that one pass where he just kind of said, bleep it, and he threw it deep against San Francisco all those years ago, he just throws it to Devontae too much. I'd rather be able to spread the football out. And, yeah, I think you want that to an extent. But, man, having that number 1 wide receiver, and that's what all these other teams you're going to have to go up against. Minnesota, Detroit, Philly. And when your cornerbacks aren't up to that task, it just puts so much pressure on your defense. What do? Do you bring pressure? Do you leave guys on islands? What can you do? And when you just have guys like the Packers do you think, especially without Christian Watson going into the game, because Christian's got the speed to take the top off of a defense where maybe the defense goes, okay, we have to keep an eye on this, but I don't think they're too worried about it at times. The Vikings and their defensive coordinator and Brian Flores are just going, we just got to play our stuff. We don't have to we got to make sure we shade a safety over here or a safety in zone coverage. Okay, I've got to keep an eye on where this guy is at all times, which leads to Xavier McKinney biting up and somebody getting behind him because he's so worried about Justin Jefferson, the way the Vikings scored their first touchdown of the game. It's just, I don't think we can have this debate anymore. It's better to have a number one wide receiver than just having 4 twos. Or 4 twos and 3s.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, all right, let me ask you this. Was Jaden Reed better last year or this year?
About the same.
Because this goes to all progression. Did they get better? Would Christian Watson get better this year or last year?
I would say Christian Watson has gotten better because we had questions about 50-50 balls and body control and things like that, and he's made some pretty good catches this year. I don't know if he's necessarily grown, Chew, in terms of, I know one of the criticisms you have is his route running and running more things than, the post, the deep crosser, the 9 route, those sorts of things. I don't know if he's gotten better there, but I think he's gotten better at the thing, at catching the deep ball, going up and getting one, making turning his body and catching it along the sideline the way he did a couple of weeks ago. I think he's gotten better in that department.
What about Dobbs?
About the same.
Wicks?
His blocking's better. Does that do anything for you?
Must have learned from Sammy Watkins, because that is what made him great.
Remember Sammy Watkins? What a time to be alive that was.
I do remember Sammy Watkins. I try not to, but I do remember it, unfortunately. So that's that. But the problem is they've got so many other issues on the defensive side, Chewy. I don't know.
No, I know.
I'm expecting them to take a receiver in the draft. I don't know how high, because you have to start eyeing backfilling that position a little bit, because you're not going to bring both Watson and Dobbs back after 25, right? You need to have guys ready to go and backfill starting in 26.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I think Goody's going to keep an eye on in the draft. I don't expect it to be a first or a second round pick, but that's something that I left that game going, I don't know if the receivers are good enough, especially when Christian Watson is not in there. 800-990-3776. What are your NFL resolutions? Chewy is not listening to anyone telling him the Bears are good or that the Packers' defensive line next year is going to be good. Not listening to anyone tell him that. But if you've got an NFL resolution, we want to hear from you. What are the resolutions? I'm for sure that we're not going to get rid of. I mean, we're never getting rid of power rankings, right? It's never going to happen.
Nope.
Chewy's going to give us his power rankings, a.k.a. ESPN.com's power rankings, next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. But X-Golf inside American Family Field is open all year round, overlooking left field. Such a unique space, a great place to hold that next corporate party that you're thinking about. But it's also a great place to, if you got an hour at lunch, hey, just go get over to the ballpark, get some swings in, or maybe take a lesson from their PGA Pro, my buddy Andy Barrett. There's so many different things that you can work on at X-Golf with the simulators, state-of-the-art, the numbers that they give you. You can make sure that your game stays sharp all year round. Book your sim time today at xgolfamfanfield.com.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
The roads are looking good this morning. No major incidents to report, and travel times are normal. Volume is light if you are heading out on the roads for your Tuesday morning commute. Your Storm Team forecast for today, a light mix to the south and cloudy with a high of 40 degrees. Tonight, cloudy, some flurries and light snow possible, a low of 27. For tomorrow, your New Year's Day, partly cloudy and possible flurries early, a high of 31. Thursday, partly cloudy, high 30. Friday, mostly sunny, colder with some wind chills, a high of 24. On Saturday, mostly sunny and still cold with a high of 23. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play Whistling Straits for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 94.5 ESPN.
The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Right now, they'd be a toss-up with the herd. People just don't know how funny mean you are. Come on. Well, I mean, that's mean, but it's funny, and the funny trumps the mean, and so you laugh. But there might be some truth to that. Of course there's some truth to it.
The Homer Hour with Homer. Weekdays from 5 to 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? Or maybe you experienced a new injury that gives you joint pain that is nagging you. Hey, this is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. There is no better time than the start of the year to refresh, renew, and say no to that joint pain. QC Kinetics is your go-to solution to get moving again in 2025. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. They are right here in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. When I visited the Greenfield location, QC Kinetics exposed me to a whole new world of regenerative medicine. So much in their toolkit to be able to get you your life back. They helped me, and they're going to help you with your own personalized journey to be able to make sure that you are starting 2025 back, active, and living a pain-free life. Call my friends at QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So overrated.
Come on, his head is a pumpkin.
Yeah, he's so right. Chewy's never been more right about anything.
Chewy was right. Yeah. Holy, Chewy was right.
Yeah.
Imagine the helmet on that dome. It'd be the first 8.5 size helmet. What the?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Somebody wants to defend the Packers wide receivers. Keith texting in saying at 800-990-3776. Dobbs and Watson 1-2 in receiving TDs from their draft class. Also have to realize the Packers will throw about 100 less passes this year when looking at their stats. Cool. And James Jones led the league in touchdown receptions one year. There's more to this than touchdown receptions. So are you trying to tell me, Keith, that Dobbs and Watson, you'd rather have them Drake London? Or would you rather have Drake London? What about Garrett Wilson? Who's had over 1,000 yards in each of his first 3 years. Those two guys and Dobbs and Watson are barely over 1,000 yards if you add up all 3 years. Chris Olave, would you rather have Chris Olave or would you rather have these guys? Olave got hurt this year, but his first 2 years, he had over 1,000 yards receiving. There's more to this than just, these guys catch a bunch of touchdowns. There's a lot more to it. Just a lot more to it. Let's get to Power Rankings.
It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You catch the game last night?
Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
Okay, your hint of the week is one team got stiffed. One team got stiffed.
Okay.
A hint of the week?
All right. Somebody got stiffed.
Every week.
Yeah,
he's been listen to the show? I mean,
every day. I think it's just my brain is rotted from.
He's the executive producer. He's supposed to listen.
5 straight years of this.
Yeah, he's supposed to listen. I don't know if he actually listens.
I even listened when I was off.
He used to be part of it.
I'm part of it. Well,
no, you're not.
I try not to.
We make fun of you as much as we can.
I'm aware.
Okay. Are you going to play this, or is Gabe going to play with himself?
Easy. Well, both probably, but I'll play this game.
All right, number 10. Give me number 10.
I will say it could be one of two teams. One team has been on a losing streak. The other's been on a winning streak. So I will say the Rams are number 10.
Steelers.
That was the other one.
Gosh, you got it.
Oh,
Steelers
suck
are
it. That's
number
what I'm talking
10.
about.
He's off. You want to quit?
Probably.
Go out on a high note or no?
I should.
Gabe, Rams are 11.
Okay. I mean, the Rams have won a bunch in a row. Like they've won, they're like 9 of their last 11. The Steelers have lost 3 in a row. That was my
Rams,
thinking.
13-9 over the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean they're not good wins, but they're better than losing.
I know. Yeah, they're wins. 9.
I will go with the Commies at 9.
I'm going to say Packers 9.
Gabe tied it up. Gabe.
What's up?
How are they at 9?
The Commies?
Just beat the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a marquee win. Okay.
Yeah, it certainly is.
That's the snub. That's garbage. That's lack of respect.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Give me 8.
I will go with the Fighting Jim Harbaughs at 8.
I'm going to stick with the Pack at 8.
Gabe just pulled ahead. The Chargers are, in fact, 8. Can they win a playoff game or no? Win one and done?
They could win one. Yeah, they could win one.
They get very little face time, though.
Yeah, so right now they would be actually, never mind. They can't win one. Unless they get to that 5 seed. They get to the 5 seed. If Pittsburgh loses and they win and they get to the 5, they can win. But right now they're slated to go on the road to Baltimore, and they can't beat Baltimore.
Okay. 7.
Here's your Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Packers are, in fact, 7. I think Washington should be 7. Green Bay 8. Chargers 9.
Okay.
They beat the Eagles. You have to give them some street cred for that.
I'm not disagreeing. Like the Packers are 7. They're 7 in the standings. The Commanders are ahead of the Packers in the standings.
Yeah. So, ESPN being ESPN. Now here's where it gets juicy.
Okay.
Where it get what? 6.
I think this is where I would put this team. I don't know if ESPN did, but I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ravens had to be 6 when I was going through this exercise. It feels like Baltimore's a top 5 team, but they're one of the best 6 teams in the league. I think they ended up going there because they're 11-5. Everybody else just has a better record.
Are in fact 6. I am considering making them my representative for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I feel good about them. I feel like
I think hold on. I think when they're on, they're better than the other teams on. Is that fair?
I think they're better.
I'm talking Buffalo.
Better, yes.
I'm talking Kansas City.
The problem is they've had some of those inconsistencies, Chew, and they're going to have to go on the road to Buffalo and to Kansas City if they want to win.
It's just that Derrick Henry.
It's
the Derrick Henry, Lamar run the ball. That's
and then on top of it, Lamar's having his best passing season ever.
Yeah. 5.
Mini.
A-O. Buffalo.
Who did you say, Ashley?
I said Vikings.
Oh, Vikings. Eagles are 5.
What?
Eagles are 5. Well, here's the inconsistency.
In America?
Here's the inconsistency where I am Mr. Consistent.
Wait, they're 5?
I don't like that.
No, that wouldn't work the way I wanted to say it. Well, they lost to Washington, Gabe.
Sure, but, I mean, Buffalo's got bad losses in there. Buffalo just lost to the Rams not that long ago.
Yeah, but it's what have you done for me lately? That Rams loss. Yeah, I guess that was.
That was like 3 weeks ago. That was right before the. Oh, okay. I thought Philly was as high as 2.
I had him 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me 4.
Oh wait, now I'm all thrown off.
Bills?
Yeah, I guess I have to go Buffalo.
Ashy?
Well, I guess I agree. I had Bills, but I'll take the win here. Vikings.
Ashy's right. Minnesota is 4.
How is Minnesota 4?
I hate this. This is wrong.
Yeah, this is worse than I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, because Minnesota's going to be playing for the 1 seed. They're 14-2. I figured they would just be right behind Detroit. So I guess Minnesota's got to be So Minnesota is 4.
So we go.
So that means Buffalo has to be 3.
So let's do top 3: Bills, Lions, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Bills, Lions, Chiefs. I think they do it to annoy us because we're probably one of the only ESPN stations that do power rankings.
And
Shefty tells them how much it annoys us. So I think that's what it is, which is fine. Which is fine.
I agree with like 3 of them.
How should it be? All right, one's Kansas City, right?
I would say 1 is Kansas City.
Two's Detroit. 3's Philly.
Yep, I agree.
Buffalo or Minnesota F4?
I still put Buffalo. I think there's
See,
even
here's
half
the
a
thing.
tick better. It's like
I don't know. I don't know if Detroit's 2.
You put them 3? Because their defensive
that defense,
issues?
Yeah, that defense is good. Like, they've got to win. I mean, and they took control of the game last night in the second half. But in the first half, like, they were just exchanging haymakers. They had to pull out a hook and ladder last night. Like Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, has to be in his bag in order for them to have success. And if they mess up just a little bit, that defense is going to let them down at this point.
All right, so if Minnesota beats Detroit, where do you put Minnesota next week?
They've got to be 2.
Put them at 2.
They've got to be 2.
They got to be 2.
And that's why I would go. That's why, yeah.
So Chiefs, Eagles, Lions, or Vikings is where you would have it?
I would go Chiefs, Eagles, Detroit, Minnesota, Buffalo, Baltimore.
Buffalo.
And those are, by the way, I think those are the 6 teams that can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would say top 6 are heavy hitters here.
I agree.
I think those
You know
top
who
6.
I kind of want in, though? You know who I kind of want in?
In the playoffs? Cincinnati.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Burrow,
yes,
for sure.
Cincinnati.
I'll agree.
Because I think they're on fire.
Buffalo is rooting like hell for Denver or Miami to win this weekend. Because Buffalo sitting there at 2 wants nothing to do with Joe Burrow coming to town.
I hope they get in. I think that'd be
it would make it super interesting. I don't know. I mean, Cincinnati's defense is too bad to win a Super Bowl at this point, but they could be the biggest spoiler as a 7 seed.
Yeah, but if we're talking Detroit, who can light it up? So can
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The Bengals I don't think can win, and if Detroit, I think Detroit's only route to the Super Bowl is winning this week against Minnesota and getting that bye, trying to get a little bit healthier, and only having to win 2 games versus 3.
Totally agree.
I kind of feel the same way about Minnesota, but I've been wrong about Minnesota all year, so I guess we can't trust my opinion on that. So those are the power rankings. I'm looking forward to this week in the NFL because there are a lot of interesting things that can still happen, even though we're just talking about seeding. Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucs star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks, bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Getting a little hazy out there on the roads, and we do have a couple disabled vehicles to let you know about on the exit to 7684th Street from 894 East on the bypass. Also, if you're on 94 northbound at the ramp near Rawson Avenue, there's a left shoulder blocked there due to a disabled vehicle. And just before that, another disabled vehicle. So traffic is still moving along smoothly, but just be aware of that. Your storm team forecast today, a light mix to the south and cloudy with a high of 40 degrees. Tonight, cloudy with some flurries and light snow possible, a low of 27. On Wednesday, partly cloudy, some flurries possible early, a high of 31. Thursday, partly cloudy, high 30. Friday, mostly sunny, colder with wind chills, a high of 24. On Saturday, mostly sunny and colder with a high of 23 degrees. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Steph Graham on 94.5 ESPN.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. a trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Or whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town as they continue to enjoy the holidays. The St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice double gold medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site, and to all a good night.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He sounds like the Beatles.
What?
Anyone?
This is a new one on me.
Listen to his interview, the way he talks. He sounds like Paul McCartney. Ringo farted and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You can always join Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, 800-990-3776. Let's go out to the phone lines. Jeff has been patiently waiting. Jeff in Milwaukee. You're on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, bud.
Hey, good morning, guys. So, a couple things. First of all, I want to give a shout-out to Chewy. Chewy, I got two words to say to you about hot, spicy honey on pizza. Game changer. And for one brief moment in my family, I was the most popular person when I made the suggestion. Everybody loved it. So it is amazing. So thank you for that. Now,
no problem, buddy.
On to the Packers. And the other thing I should have said is good morning, dudes. So,
what's up, bro?
Anyways, on to the Packers. They were. You can say what you want about their record. They were clearly playing better last year. They had two signature wins over two very, very good teams, Kansas City and Detroit. They haven't had even one signature win like that this year. And I like your guys' opinion on something. I agree with you, Gabe, about the receiving core. I'm right with you. They're good. They're not great. They don't have anybody who's stellar. On that 4th and 2, that low pass to Reed, you know who makes that catch? Any of the receivers on the Vikings. You know, I mean, it's just things like that make the difference. So one of the things I like your guys' opinion on is obviously this year there's been the ascension of Josh Jacobs and the running game. I think an unintended consequence of this has been this. The passing game has suffered, and I don't know why, but it has. Last year, this offense was essentially going through Jordan Love. This year, it's not.
But, Jeff, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was going through Aaron Jones. Like, when the team got hot in those last 3 games of the regular season that they won, and then that playoff game against Dallas, Aaron Jones had 100 yards rushing in every one of those games. Like, the reason why Jordan Love, I think, took off, Jeff, is because Aaron Jones was able to control it, and then Jordan Love was able to do everything he did off of play action, the way that he had done from the bye up until what we saw against Minnesota on Sunday.
Gabe, you and I are saying the same thing. I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is something has changed in terms of the play calling in the passing game. And what I mean by that is towards the end of the year last year, one of the things you saw is guys were wide open. Against Dallas, guys were wide open. Against Minnesota in the final game of the year, guys were wide open. Against San Francisco, Bo Melton was wide open in the end zone for one of the touchdowns. LaFleur's, whatever is going on with his play calling, people are not wide open. He even said, well, they played man on us, and we weren't expecting it. You guys, how many man-beater routes did you see called in that game? There were none.
Yeah, there really weren't. How about conspiracy theory here? Can I just throw this out here?
Hold on. I gotta get some music.
Have we ever stopped you before?
All right, go ahead.
Could this all stem back to Romeo Doubs taking off 2 days and running away because he wasn't involved enough when he actually was in the offense, and LaFleur was afraid of upsetting the apple cart again, that he changed the way he did things?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I got to keep him happy. I got to keep him happy. I got to keep him happy. I don't want any more dissension in the room. Instead of playing the best guys out there.
Trying to keep everybody happy. I mean, realistically, the only one who could be happy about their touches would be Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
You know, all the receivers have been inconsistent. Like, even in the big games that Christian Watson has had, it's not like he's being targeted a bunch. It's just he has a couple of big catches.
I think, because you ask every coach, I ask Coach all the time, what percentage he would want, and I know the college game's different than the pro, what percentage do you want run to pass in the NFL? And I guarantee LaFleur would say 60-40.
Yeah, and right now they're closer to 50-50. Because it had been working, and I mean, it had been working. They'd been putting up 30-plus points. It was a franchise record, but when you ran up against a better opponent,
it doesn't work.
It didn't work as well. You got to be able to throw the ball, and the rules curtail it and make it so you can throw the ball. And the problem, if you're that reluctant, if you're that reliant on Christian Watson being out there, like, then something's fundamentally wrong. Yeah, because guys miss games, right? Like, guys miss games. There was a point where when, Devontae Adams missed, I mean, how many ever games he missed, in the earlier part of this decade, where they found ways around it. And that was, with Matt LaFleur as head coach, certainly. I mean, why are you so reliant on Christian Watson? That's who's not a number one. He just has that one gift where he can take the top off.
But, I mean, there's been, even last year, I think their receivers missed more games than they did this year. I mean, Christian Watson, certainly, he's played 14. Reed's played all 16. Wicks has played all 16. Doubs has played 13. So it's not like wasn't Christian Watson last year out for like 9 games?
He was out for a bunch, yeah.
I don't know. I think if you went to LaFleur and it was just you and him and it was never getting out, I don't think he's going to say, 50-50.
Yeah, so last year Christian Watson only played 9 games, 9 of the 17.
How many catches did he have in the 9?
28. He has played 14 this year. So, I mean, He's been more productive with the catches this year because last year he had 28 catches for 422 yards. This year he already has a career high in yards, 29 catches for 620.
Yeah, but it's 29.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
It's tough. When you start diving in deeper into those numbers and you're going, okay, who can emerge, who can grow, who can be this guy? Not that I want to give up on this young group because somebody could still emerge.
Yeah,
but
I just think you need to add a little.
I don't know if that group in particular, Chewy, has grown. Like, I don't know, outside of the one thing I put it out with Watson making some of those 50-50 catches that we were critical of him a year ago, outside of that, I don't know who's gotten better, who's grown.
Yeah.
And again, well, I guess Dontavian Wicks is a better blocker this year, which we all know is the big key to being a wide receiver in the NFL in 2024 is being very good at blocking.
Sure. It's going to get him paid. It is going to get him paid.
What do you think a blocking wide receiver goes for?
$7.
American in this economy?
Those are pesos.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Which
to do.
Comes out to be, I believe, 50 cents.
Yeah, you got to do the conversion yourself. We certainly don't have that information. We have an update on Ashton's flights. Chewy, I think you're going to be disappointed in the big guy.
Oh, don't tease it like that.
We'll do that.
Did he already wuss out and buy one?
We'll find out next. Tune in. Jen, Gabe, coming up next.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry. Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two and two
I got it. I did not get it.
They
don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you too, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Gary Austin here from our friends at Best Electric Service. An A-plus Better Business Bureau family owned and operated who have been serving you for over 50 years. No job is too big or too small, whether it's making panel upgrades to your home, new LED in lighting, electric vehicle charging, and all residential service calls. Best Electric provides quality service at fair prices. They are experienced and licensed electrical contractors ready to get to work. Connect with the Best Electric Service. Find out more at bestelect.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8-ounce selective varieties Frito-Lay Lays or Kettle Chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80 count selective varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5 ounce selective varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26 ounce selective varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal, free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Rick Papandrea is joining me. How special is it for you being able to watch people see their quality of life return?
There's no doubt that the efficiency is great for everybody. It's very rewarding as a surgeon to take care of somebody and see them get better. But to have them come in and do it in a seamless fashion is really exciting. One case comes to mind. We had a young girl who was doing some cartwheels and she came in with a broken elbow and everything lined up, maybe more so than even is typical. She needed special care. She needed her elbow fixed with a very particular fracture that is difficult to fix. And not only is it difficult to fix, but it can be somewhat complicated by stiffness. So with my specialty of my background, I do a lot of elbow arthroscopy, which isn't very common. And we had her in the operating room later that day where I was able to arthroscopically reduce and fix her elbow fracture. And she was back to a normal kid about 2 months later.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And guess who didn't hit the hole? Zeke Elliott.
Ashton.
Well, I mean, yes. Yeah, right back there?
That's so true.
It was a direct shot. She took out the sniper rifle and just...
She got right up to me, took out a Glock, and just shot.
Yeah, right in the balls.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
Quick question before we get to our guy, Ashy. Kevin has a question on the Talk It text line, wondering if you think the defense is better under Hafley than they were last year. That comes from Kevin in Racine. I think the defense is better. I think what they do and what they want to do is better. I think the man in charge is better. I think they have some pieces in place that are better. Chewy, ultimately, I think there's still room for growth. There's room for development, especially along the defensive line. You can insert better pieces there. But I am excited about the Packers linebackers and safeties for the first time in God knows how long.
I think they need a few more ingredients, but yeah. I like his scheme much better than the bend but don't break. Now, let's get to Ashley. Ashley, real quick before we get to you, though, yes. What's your take on honey on pizza?
For the record, I was the one that said that a couple of weeks ago when I was in, and I made the power
You're
rankings.
A liar.
It's not a liar. There's a video up. I made the power rankings of the condiments. Hot honey it was my number 2. To what, Gabe? What was my number 1 about the condiments?
Mustard?
Rat sauce.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
No, that's terrible.
When I talk. Anyways, but
Ashton,
yes, hot honey is great.
But it's got to be with a spicy pepperoni or some type of spicy sausage.
No. That's where you're wrong. Hot honey can go on any
that's
pizza.
Where you're,
pizza. It can go on eggs. It can go on if you put a little eggs, some cottage cheese, so some hot honey on that on toast.
No.
Yes, that's it.
No one eats cottage cheese unless you're 70 years old.
I eat cottage cheese. It's extra protein, Gabe. It's because I don't eat meat anymore, really, so they got to get extra protein. It's a whole thing.
What?
I can't say anything just in case. He
just caved to his fiancée. Total cave job.
No, that's not at all what happened.
If you're watching
on
YouTube,
a skirt out tonight?
If you're watching on YouTube, you know what's up.
You have to wear a
all right, what did you do, Ashton?
I bought a flight. I bought a flight.
So earlier in the show, an hour ago, we were trying to solicit advice for you. We got good advice. You decided not to take it. You couldn't be patient. You panicked and purchased.
No. Because, however, I still won. The flight went back down to the price it was at yesterday. So I just snatched it up immediately. I snatched up immediately.
His fiance texted and said, "You buy a flight now."
Yes,
okay, I will.
She's still asleep. There's no chance she's awake right now. She's off today.
Yeah, I mean, after what you just pulled.
Yeah, she's asleep.
I mean, you're in charge.
What was the one poll?
You wanted the Packers
Can I get the
poll?
one? On winning the Super Bowl.
All right, so Chewy wanted to take a toad temperature today. Are the Packers going to win the Super Bowl? No, 85%.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's pretty good.
That's fine. That's okay. Yeah.
No, you're never going to
I was thinking
get rid of all
90s.
the toads.
Yeah. No, I love toads, too. You know why I love toads? Because I'm so much smarter than them.
And that's really all that's important to you. So he's coming out smarter than you.
But it was a win for me, right? We can all agree, big win for Ashton.
Oh, because you purchased your flight at the same price it was yesterday?
Yeah, big win.
No, that's stupid. I'll be looking. It's a tie. I'll be looking. Damn it. I'll be looking.
Oh, yeah. Chewy's going to still monitor, and he's going to find it cheaper, and then he's going to piss you off.
All right, I'll see you there in March.
Wildy and Tausch coming up next, 94.5 ESPN.
Volume has been light on the roads this morning, and no major